here from Team Paradox, the Paradox Brothers channel. Today I'm going to be doing another deck profile video. I'll have a little bit different format than what I've done in the past. What you see in front of you is my Tiger Stun deck profile, side deck included. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So, as the name suggests, I will be playing 3 King Tiger Wanghu. If you aren't aware of what this guy does, it instantly destroys any monster with 1400 less or less attack that is summoned on the field. This does exclude flip summoning, so special summoning, normal summoning. It has a lot of utility and is very good against goat control decks, obviously, Thousand Eyes Destroyed goat tokens. Also very good against Ojama tokens, so burn decks, which is probably the most common burn deck right now. Moving over to the right here, I play 3 Kycoo the Ghost Destroyer. This is just chaos management, managing the resources of your opponent's graveyard. Puts on a lot of pressure. They usually want this guy to be removed as quick as possible. Moving more over to the right here, I play 3 Blade Knight. The one on the far right, I don't have a 3rd Blade Knight at the moment. I have one on the way. But 3 Blade Knight just for destroying flip monsters. We play a pretty low monster count, so we can probably get the buff pretty often, and destroying flip monsters is very beneficial, especially early in the game. It's always beneficial, but just putting pressure on as fast as you can. 1 Grandmaster Sasuke for getting rid of defense position spies and chaos monsters. These are all 1-0s. Break of the Magical Warrior, just getting a plus off this can be great, destroying annoying back row. 1 Exiled Force and 1 DD Warrior Lady for spot removal, and finally 1 Blackluster Soldier and Boar at the beginning. We play 3 Kycoo the Ghost Destroyer, 1 Breaker, so 4 Darks, a DD Warrior Lady, 3 Blade Knight, and 1 Grandmaster Sasuke, so 5 lights. So that's plenty of chaos fuel to justify playing him. Moving on to the spells, these are going to be the 4 draw cards of the deck, so Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and then 2 Upstart Goblin. I don't like giving my opponent 1,000 life points, but I don't like breaking either, and it's very important for me to set up before my opponent is able to set up, and also to, in general, just get the cards I need in my hand to demolish whatever kind of board they're trying to create. So Upstart Goblin is kind of a necessity. You don't always have to use it. It's really just based on a situational thing. It's more in here so that you don't break. 1 Delinquent Duo, and then 3 Lightforce Sword. You might not know what Lightforce Sword does, so I'll explain it briefly. You activate this card. The turn that you activate this card, you banish 1 card from your opponent's hand, and on the 4th standby phase, after this card's activation, they get it back. The reason why I believe this card can be quite good is because in a very similar mindset as the Trap Dust Shoot, obviously you don't get to see your opponent's hand, but you don't have to meet the requirements of them having 4 cards or more in their hand either. You can activate it when they have 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, whatever. You can activate it when you know they've gotten a spell back that's really good, or you know you bounced a chaos monster back to their hand, or whatever it may be, they wrote it for something, you can activate this card. You could definitely interfere with them that way. And unlike Mind Crush, things like that have been used in the past, Lightforce Sword has some of the best removal in the game, which is for banishing it face down. Very few cards can interfere with that, or interact with cards that are banished face down. And it's only banished face down for 4 turns, but hopefully if you're set up correctly, that's all you need to take control of the game and have momentum go in your favor. So I think 3 Lightforce Sword is pretty much just as logical, at least in this particular deck profile, in my opinion, as like 3 Trap Dust Shoot. Obviously you could still break with any card, but you're a lot less likely to not be able to use this card versus a Trap Dust Shoot. I play Mystical Space Typhoon and Heavy Storm for back row destruction. Play 2 Reinforcements of the Army. This card is a lot like spot removal in here for getting your Exiled Force, your DD Warrior Lady, potentially a Blade Knight, or your Grandmaster Sasuke. So, 2 Nobleman of Crossout, getting rid of face down cards. Hopefully you hit Spy with this. That's the most annoying card to deal with for this deck, probably. Snatch Steal and Premature Burial, just really good, powerful spells. Moving on to the traps. We play 3 Solemn Judgement. This card is very crucial to the deck because it allows all the other cards to function correctly. You want to be able to comfortably set a bunch of cards face down so that you can use them. A really high level strategy is often to keep trap cards in your hand so you don't have to have redundancy face down necessarily you don't get to have redundancy face down necessarily because you're trying to avoid getting Heavy Storm, which can usually lead to a complete loss. But if you have Solemn Judgment, you can confidently set down multiple outs, and multiple outs are very important in high-level GOAT format because people often play with a plan B in mind. Or really even high-level play, for example, will do something that isn't really their main plan to intentionally get like a Darker Light in the grave and then go for a massive push with a Chaos Monster. With Solemn Judgment allows you to have multiple outs down. Just make sure that when you do have Solemn Judgment and a bunch of trap cards, you don't make the mistake of not putting them all down. One Torrential Tribute, one Ring of Destruction, very good trap cards. Mirror Force, very standard trap card. Two Sakuretsu Armor. Two Sakuretsu Armor with the one Mirror Force is to help against Warrior, because with the King Tiger's one downside is it's not really going to do anything against Warriors, so you kind of need some defense. And two Compulsory Evacuation device. This card's really good because in a similar mindset as Lightforce Sword, it doesn't send a card to their grave, it bounces it to their hand. Or in the case of a fusion monster, it bounces it back to the fusion deck. So you don't have to really worry about a follow-up necessarily, at least most of the time. It's a very underrated card. Obviously, if your opponent's playing Decree, you're going to have to prepare for that, which we have in our side deck, which I will get into now. So 3 Berserk Gorilla. This is a direct replacement for the 3 King Tiger. Put this in when you're playing against Warrior. 2 Light of Intervention. Put this in when you're playing against Chaos Turbo. It's you can take out some of the Lightforce Swords, or honestly, I would actually just take out the Sakuretsu Armor if you're playing against Chaos Turbo. Sakuretsu Armors aren't going to do too much good. And 3 Dust Tornado. There are multiple cases in which you might want to put these 3 in, but if you're playing against Warrior, I would suggest sliding out the Lightforce Sword for the 3 Dust Tornado, because Lightforce Sword isn't going to do as much good, because they're probably only going to have one monster in their hand, or one card in their hand. It'll probably be a monster. And the 3 Dust Tornado will just help you out a lot more to avoid Solemn Judgment wars. Very useful. You could also put this in. You also would put this in against any Royal Decree decks and any burn decks as well. Mataza the Zapper, very good card. 1300 attack, 800 defense. He can attack twice during a battle phase, so you can put a lot of pressure on, destroy 2 goats, put out 2600 damage potentially. Can attack under Gravity Bind, level 11 area B. Can also not be controller's card cannot be taken while it's face up. So very good against goat control. Book of Moon, good against goat control, especially when they play in Royal Decree. You could also put it in against Warriors if you feel like you need more options to defend against them. 2 Asura Priest, very good against goat control and Reasoning Gate decks, which King Tiger is already good against Reasoning Gate for that reason. If you're playing against a Reasoning Gate deck or combo deck like that, you want to put on the pressure as fast as possible. You want to get their life below 5,000 to prevent Cyberstein, and you just want to take them out before any kind of combos off. 1 Soul Release, I put this in against Chaos Turbo, and let them ditch all their lights and all their darks and all their good spells into the grave, and then remove them from play. And then 2 Jargri are the last 2 of the 15 for the side deck. I put this in against Chaos Turbo as well. And also in any match like Burn or any card like that where certain, cards like Dust Tornado, for example, are a necessity to get in your hands. But I would definitely put this in against Chaos Turbo for sure, so you can get Light of Intervention in your hand and put them in a stunned situation, which really puts them behind. Yeah, that's it for the deck profile video. I'll give you one more far away shot of this. I think in general, King Tiger is a very good deck. It's just not been played very much recently, and it's not been played very thoughtfully. A lot of times people just put in the 3 Solemn Judgments and then call it a day with the 3 Tigers and don't really put a lot of thought into it outside of that. But your real goal with this deck is to, as the name suggests, stun your opponent from doing what they want to do, while simultaneously just beating them down as fast as you can or removing their resources. You want them to be, you want to compromise their strategy essentially as soon as you can and disrupt their plays. So let me know if you do use this deck and how you like it, what modifications you make to it to make it better. By no means is this the best version of this probably that you can make. It's just the version that I made. So let us know how you like it down below. Thanks for watching and enjoy your day.